The next app that we will be creating is the Paint app. Okay, Paint app. So this is the canvas on which we will be drawing. There are 3 colors to choose from, and there is a clear button, and below here there is a slider. Okay, there is a slider. So I'll click on red and I'll draw something like this. Okay, the slider is to change the thickness of the line. Okay, so I'll move it here, and you can see, yeah, let me move it here. And you can see the difference, correct? Yes. So even though there is no difference between this and this, there is slight difference which we cannot make out. But according to the position of the slider, the thickness of the line varies. Alright. So let me select the green. So you can see this, and let me move it here. And you can see this, and let me move it way back here, and you can see this. Alright. Same goes for blue. Alright. So if I want to clear this canvas, all I have to do is click on clear button, and it will be reset. Okay. So let's go to the MIT Inventor page and write codes to make this app. Alright. So I'm going to click on create new project and name it as Paint, and in the next screen I will be arranging the elements like this. Okay, so now if you see here in a horizontal arrangement, I have 1, 2, 3 and 4 buttons. So what I will do is I'll go to layout and I'll drag horizontal arrangement and drop it here. Okay, and then I will drag and drop 4 buttons to this. Button 3 and button 4 comes out of this if I drag and drop it. So let me put it later. So button 1, what is button 1? Button 1 is red, second is green, third is blue. So here I'm going to change the background color to red, button 2 to green, button 3 to blue. Okay, and I'm going to remove this text. I do not want any text on the buttons, so I'll delete this. I'll delete this too. I'll delete this too. Okay, so I have 3 buttons and 3 buttons. Along with that I have clear button. So now I can drag and drop a button in this horizontal arrangement. Okay, so this is clear, so I'll name it as clear. And here you can see, let me zoom in. Here you can see it is not perfectly rectangular. It has rounded edges, rounded corners I can say, which you can make here. Okay, which you can make in shape. So I'll change it to rounded. Okay, so you can see it has changed. Now the horizontal arrangement is in the screen, and I want this to be at the center. So I'll select this and click on center, so it comes to the center. Next I want this area, this canvas on which I can draw, correct? On which I can draw. That is available in drawing and animation and canvas. Okay, so drag and drop canvas here. Now you can see it has come as a small rectangle, but I want it to fill up this space. So we'll do that later. Below here you have a slider, correct? Below you have a slider. So let me go to user interface and drag and drop slider below this canvas. Okay, so canvas. Now this is fine, this is also fine. Now let me go back to canvas. and let me increase its size to this. So click on canvas and hide fill parent. Fill parent in the sense it will fill up the screen. Okay, fill up the screen. So it has filled up the screen, and width to fill parent. Width to fill parent. So it fills up the screen. Okay. So the canvas is done. Canvas is done. Next remaining is slider, which is from here to here. All right. So the slider should be from here to here. You saw in the video that I will be moving the slider from here till here. All right. So I'll click on slider and I'll say minimum value 0 and maximum value 100. Okay. So 0 to 100, and the initial position is 0. Initial position is 0. Thumb position is 0. All right. So that's it. That is the interface that we have created. So everything is according to our requirement. Now let us go to the blocks. Let us go to the blocks section and write the codes to perform various functions. All right. I'll go to the blocks section. And here you can see I have not changed the names of the button, and so it is showing me button 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let me go back quickly and change the button names. Button 1 is what is it? Red, and this is green, this is blue, and this is clear. Okay, clear. Okay, so let me go back. Now, when a red button is clicked, what do I want to do? I want to set the color of the pen to red color, correct? So that will be available in canvas. All right. So come down, and below you will get an option called as set canvas 1 paint color 2. Okay, set canvas 1 paint color 2. I'll drag it and drop it here. And what do I want it to set to? Red color, correct? So colors and red. So bring it and fix it here. So when red button is clicked, set the paint color to red. Okay, that is what this means. Let me duplicate this. Right click and duplicate. When I click on green button, it should change to green. So you can either delete this and bring green color, or you can just click on this and select green color. Okay, that is also fine. Let me duplicate this, and finally when I click on blue color, I want the paint color to set to blue, this blue. Okay, this blue. So when red clicked, set to red. When green clicked, set to green. When blue clicked, set to blue. All right. Next, when you click on clear button, when clear button is clicked, what must happen? Whatever we have drawn on the canvas must be cleared. So in canvas, you have an call canvas 1 clear block. Okay. So use this block and drop it here. So this means when clear button is clicked, clear canvas 1. That is what this means. Call means do that. Okay. Call canvas 1 clear. This is what you have to use. So we have written blocks or codes for these 4 buttons. These 4 buttons. All right. Now let us write the program or code to draw the lines. So let me go to blocks. And here in canvas, okay, when canvas 1 dragged, all right. So this is let me drop it here. It is a very lengthy block. So when canvas 1 dragged, so this is what you have to use for drawing lines on the canvas. Okay, when canvas 1 dragged, what should happen? So in canvas, once again you have you have draw line. Okay, draw line block. Call canvas on draw line. So we want to draw lines, correct? So draw line. Alright. So when canvas 1 dragged, call draw line. Now, if you see my mouse pointer here. If I want to drag or draw a line from here to here, okay, this has some particular x and y value. This has particular x and y value. So when I draw a line from here to here, it is from previous xy to current xy, correct? So here it is initial position, here it is final position. So from previous xy to current xy, we have to draw a line. So you take get previous xy. What you have to do is you have to move your mouse on this, okay, previous x. You don't have to click it, you just have to move mouse over it, which gets you two options, and get this, okay, get this. What this means is get the previous x position, get the previous x position, and I'll move the mouse over here, get the previous y position. So what I'm saying is draw a line from x1 y1, from x1 y1, from previous x and y till new x and y. What is new x and new y? Current x. So get current x coordinate, get current y coordinate, and draw a line. That is what this means. Okay. So when canvas is dragged, that means when I click and drag, or when I use my finger to draw a line, so from previous x and y till current x and y, draw a line. That is what this means. Get means get the x and y coordinates, get the x and y coordinates. Okay. So now we have written code for drawing a line on the canvas. Now the remaining thing is about the slider. Okay, about the slider. According to the position of this on the slider, or according to the position of the slider, the thickness of the line which we used to draw must change, correct? So that is what we will write the codes to next. Okay, so I'll go to slider. Okay, I'll go to slider and I'll drag this. When slider position changed, or when we change the slider on position, that is what this means. Okay, now generally how do we change the slider? Using thumb, right? Thumb. So thumb position. So get thumb position is for getting the position of the thumb. Okay, current position of the thumb. Where is it? Is it towards the left or towards the right or at the center or somewhere in between? So this gets the current thumb position. Okay, now we will leave it as it is. So this means when the position of thumb on slider is changed, or when slider position is changed. Okay, now what do we want to do when slider position is changed? We want to change the thickness of the line. We want to change the thickness of the line. But let me go to this. How much should it be when the slider position is here, or what must be the thickness of the line when the slider is here? What must be the thickness of the line when the slider is here? What must be the thickness of the line when the slider is here? What must be the thickness of the line when the slider is here? Okay, that is the question. So according to different positions of the slider, the thickness of the line varies, correct? So for that we have to use a different code or block. So in control we have if then block. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I'll use this and I'll explain how it works. Okay, now if in math, okay, if in math I'll drag this. Okay, if in math I'll move the mouse over thumb position and select get thumb position and drag this. Okay, drag this. And here I'll say less than, and I have a space here. And in math, I have this. I'll drag and drop this. Okay, and I'll say 10. I'll say 10. And this is fine. If this is true, then do something. What must we do? In canvas, we have a block set line width to. Set line width to. Okay, set line width to something. What is it? Let me go back to math and let me drag and drop this here, and I'll set it to 1. Okay, so this is the block that we will be needing to change the thickness of line according to position of slider. Now let me explain this. All right, so if then is used when we want to check a condition, and if the condition is true, we want to do something. Okay, so what we are saying is, if this condition is true, then do this. That is what we are saying. Now what is the condition? Get thumb position. All right, so what is this? This means current thumb position. So let us assume the thumb position is this. Okay, or the slider is here. So if this is less than 10, what is this 10? Now minimum value we had set 0, correct? Let me go back to designer, and if you see, minimum value we had set to 0, maximum we had set to 100. So that means 0 is here, 100 is here. From here to here we have 100 spaces. So if we want to change the width of the length 10 times, okay, or in 10 steps, then we divide this entire length into 10 parts. Now what I am saying here is, if the thumb position is less than 10, that means if the entire thing is 100, then the 10 comes around here. Okay, if the slider position is here or here or here or here or here, less than 10 means 1 2 3 4 5 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, less than 10. Okay, if the thumb position is less than 10, then set the line width to 1. Okay, set the line width to 1. That means if the slider is here to here, then the line width will be 1. Okay, now it may be confusing to you, it may sound confusing. I'll give a demo of the software and come back to this and explain once again, so it will make sense to you later. All right, now I'll drag this and drop it here. Now this is fine, but this is not complete. We have written code only for less than 10, but what about less than 20? Now this looks like it is less than 20. Okay, 20th position. What about this? We want to increase the thickness, right? So here, if you move your mouse over this blue color and click on it, so we have two other blocks. So I'll drag this else if and set it here. Okay, which adds one more else if then to this. I'll click on this and I'll drag this and drop it over this. So which gives me one more else if then. I'll drag this and once again I'll put it over here. So I have 1, 2, 3 and 4. Once again I'll click on this, I'll put it here, I'll get one more else if. Once again I'll do this, once again I'll do this. Okay, once again I'll do this, once again I'll do this. Why am I doing these many times? I'll explain. So now if the thumb position is less than 10, do this, set the line width to 1. Now I'm going to copy this, Okay, I'm going to right click on it and duplicate. So I will paste it here, and here I will make it 20, and I will duplicate this and make it 2. Okay, so now what I'm saying is, if the thumb position or slider position is less than 10 meaning from here till here, if it is less than 10, then set the line width to 1. Else, otherwise, that means if this is not true, okay, first it checks whether this is true. If it is not true, it goes to this. Else, if the thumb position is less than 20, that is from here to here, okay, now this satisfies, according to this sketch, it satisfies this condition. Else, if the thumb position is less than 20, then set the line width to 2. Okay, the thickness will be increased. Now, we want to do the same thing again and again. So, I will copy this block and I will paste it again and again. Okay, so I am using Ctrl C and Ctrl V to do it. So, I will paste it here, paste it here. So, I will paste it here, or I will fix it here, I can say. I will fix it here, and I will fix one more, I will fix one more, and I will fix one more. Okay, so I fixed this. We need this also, I will copy this, Ctrl C, and I will paste it. So, I will set it here, set it here, set it here. Okay, yeah, now I will make this 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100. Okay, and I'll do this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so according to slider position, the line thickness will be set. Alright, that means if the thumb position is less than 100, 10 will be the thickness of the line. If it is less than 90, 9 will be the thickness of the line. Alright, so the code is ready. Let us go to the emulator and check its working. Okay, I'll select connect and I'll select emulator and allow it for to run. Okay, it takes around 2 minutes. Okay, so now it has loaded up. You can look at it. So we have 3 colors, 3 buttons and clear. But here you can see the slider has come only this much, we need the slider from here to here. Okay, here to here. We did not do that in the beginning. So to do that, you have to click on slider. Okay, slider, and in the width you have to select fill parent. Okay, so let me show you the difference. So I'll watch here what happens. So fill parent, I'll click on this and the slider will come for the entire width of the screen. Okay, now that will be reflected here too. So now you can see the slider here. Now what I meant was, this is 0 and this is 100 and this is 10, this is 20, this is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. Okay, so this is divided into 100 locations, I can say, and according to the location of the slider, the thickness of the line will change. Alright, so I'm going to click on red and I'll do this. Now the what is it now? Let me go back to blocks. Yeah, let me clear this and show you once again from the beginning. Now I will select red. I am going to draw a line. Now see, the position of the slider is less than 10. It is at 0 right now. It is to the extreme end. So it is less than 10. So the width or thickness of this line is set to 1. Now if I move this, let us say, now this may be less than 30. So if it is less than 30, then the width will be 3 or the thickness of the line will be 3. So you can see it is thicker than this. Okay. Now if I move this, if I still move this here, it may be less than 50. So 5 will be set for the or as the width of the line. And if I still move it, it may be less than 70. So the width will be set to 7. Okay. So I'll click on blue, and according to slider position the thickness will be set. If I move till here, now this may be less than 100, more than 90, so the thickness will be more. Okay. So when I click on clear, the canvas will be cleared and you are ready to paint once again. Alright. So this is the Paint app. Now it is your turn to go and practice this software.